Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another live on Want the Right Dog, Ask the Right Questions. Today's question is going to be, do we have enough money? Food, vet care, training, oh my. Um, so I just want to give you some things to think about before you would go out and get your dog or your puppy, just as far as things that you want to consider when it comes to costs and what all goes into having a dog for a lifetime. So the first thing I want to talk about is veterinary care. So you want to find a veterinarian who you get along well with, your dog is comfortable with. I always recommend that people look for certifications for the veterinary clinic, such as fear-free certification or AHAA certification. These certifications show that the clinic as a whole is taking an extra step forward to assure that your dog is well taken care of, that they're kept up to date on the latest techniques, latest information. Fear-free, the fear-free certification is something that all of the veterinarians, the vet techs, everybody there learns how to make the vet visit as comfortable for you and your dog as possible. And it just goes and shows that they've taken some extra steps. So when you are picking out a veterinarian, price point shouldn't be so much an concern, although it definitely is. And price comparison is a great thing to do. But more than that, be sure that you're asking the questions of your veterinarian, your prospective veterinarian, to make sure that this is going to be a place where they're going to be able to support you and support your dog. There's regular veterinary visits, and if you get a puppy, there's quite a few of them in that first year. If you have an adult dog, you still have to take them in right away and meet with the veterinarian, make sure everything is up to date, make sure everything is transferred over, and they can guide you with things like that. But there's always those accidents that come up. There's always illnesses that can come up. Heaven forbid if your dog would get cancer or some other illness that's a little bit more serious. So having a pet savings account is not a bad idea. Also, pet insurance, while I have not used it myself, I've been reading more and more about it. I have one of my dogs actually has cancer, and she's doing very, very well, and she's won the battle, but it was pretty expensive, and so I look back and think, well, I wonder maybe if pet insurance might have helped us out. So making really good informed decisions about your veterinarian and looking into pet insurance, seeing if there's like so much money a month that you can put away in a pet savings account, it is always a good idea. When you're living with a dog, you're looking at 10 to 14, depending on the breed of dog or the type of dog. It may go even longer. So you may have a very long and wonderful, happy life with your dog. So you have to look at it in the distance and realize that as your dog gets older, there might be more veterinary bills, there might be more things that you're going to need to support your dog with. And of course, there's all different kinds of ways that you can go about getting what you need. But it is important to understand that these things are important for your dog for their health. The other thing too that is kind of hard to bring up, but many of us, because our dogs are so much a part of our family, we want to keep them with even after they passed. So there are many places now that will do cremations and give your ashes back for your dog, offer you vessels to put your ashes into. There's a lot of things like that that give us the closure that we need when it comes to saying goodbye. So that's something that is also can be a cost. And if this is something that you feel you want to do, you want to make sure that you have that when the time comes, and that's not something you're going to try and struggle with during that sad time. Another thing I want to look at is nutrition. Let's talk about food. When we're in group class, we talk about food, and I actually have a specific time where we discuss nutrition with and how it affects our dogs. So, of course, the first line of information for this is definitely your veterinarian. You always want to talk with your veterinarian and see what their thoughts are, and work with your veterinarian to get a really good, sound nutritional program going for your dog. But I always like to tell people, feed the best food you can afford to feed your dog. They're just going to be healthier, they're going to be more vital. One thing I like is the better quality food that goes in, the less mess comes out, because more of it is being used by the dog and it's more efficient, and so you don't always necessarily have all the puppy piles of poop around as big as you normally would. So you just want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence, talking to the pet stores, talking to your veterinarian, and I actually recommend the dog food analysis website. So if you go into your Google search and put dog food analysis, you will find a really nice website that will allow you to compare and contrast different dog foods. It'll explain to you what all these ingredients are that you're reading on the label. It can help you prioritize those ingredients. And you can also, it'll work for treats too, and you can also sign up for food and treat alerts as well on this website. So it's a great website to access. Again, it's dog food analysis. As much of the care as you take with the food that you have, you also want to take that same amount of care with the treats that you feed. So you want to feed good quality treats as much as possible. Of course, same thing with us. Every so often we want to have a Big Mac or something like that, or eat something that's not great for us. And same thing with our dogs. We may have a biscuit here and there that's not the greatest, but what the heck, it's okay. Just in general, you know, strive to feed the best foods and treats possible. Now, with that being said, labeling, especially for treats, is extremely important. You do not want to buy any food, treats, raw hides, pig ears, anything like that that comes from China or comes from overseas. There can be all kinds of hidden pesticides, poisons, things that aren't good for our dogs that over time could hurt them. So read your labels carefully. I know that there are good and not so good on the shelves in many places, but I also know that if you do your diligence and you look at the labels and you make sure that it's packaged and manufactured in the United States, you'll be okay. Watch your packaging carefully. I've found actually that I've seen some packaging that says packaged in the United States, and when I look further and look in the little folds that are at the bottom or the sides of the packaging, I've found that it's actually been manufactured in China but packaged in the United States. So it can be kind of tricky. So, you know, be a good detective and take a look at the packaging and make sure that that you're getting the food from the right sources. Some pet stores in town are in, well, I live in Watertown and I know that Pitter Patter Paws is this way, but there's many pet stores where you could walk in and you can talk to a manager and say, hey, where do you source out your treats and your food? And you can find out from them as well to make sure that they're locally sourced or sourced in the United States. So while this doesn't seem like a big deal, what we feed ourselves and what we feed our dogs contribute to their health overall, right? So just be really careful and feed the best foods and treats that you can to your dog. Another thing that I'd like to look at that can be expensive is care. As far as like grooming, daycare, dog walkers, dog sitters. Again, you want to do your due diligence. You want to talk to the people. You want to talk to their customers. You want to go online and you want to look at their credentials. There are governing bodies out there now that certify groomers and certified pet sitters and dog sitters and dog walkers and daycares. So you don't have to go into these things blind. You can look up, go on your Google search and look up certifications for dog walkers, for dog sitters, and you can find the information out there. There's a national, can't remember completely off the top of my head, but there's a National Association for Professional Dog Sitters that's out there, which I think is great. And so just, again, do your due diligence, because you're going to be leaving your beloved pet with these people. So invite them to come over when you're home. Watch what they do. Watch how they work with your dog. Make sure that they're using gentle techniques and they're not using any type of techniques or equipment that are going to frighten or cause pain to your dog. You don't want that. So, but with that being said, when you hire a qualified, certified groomer, dog walker, sitter, daycare, they are more expensive because they have taken the time to get certified, which costs money, get insurance, which costs money, go to seminars, subscribe to online programs that can help augment their businesses. So being certified is not cheap. It's expensive. So because of that, they also have to charge a fair wage so that they can continue to bring this information to you and continue to give you quality services. So springing off of that, let's talk a little bit about dog training. Not only is dog training a good thing to do for your dog, just so that you have a great canine citizen, but dog training is just as essential as veterinary care and good nutrition when it comes to the overall well-being of your dog. Good training at the beginning, the minute you bring your dog home, reaching out, or your puppy home, reaching out to a qualified dog trainer when you bring your new dog home, all of that is going to start setting you up for success right away and will help you recognize some of the little things that might be going off to the side a little bit, that with this qualified trainer can bring the dog back to center and put you two on the right path. So certified dog trainers it's important to work with a certified dog trainer. Dog training is an unregulated industry in the United States. So what that means is there's really no governing body out there that's watching us and making sure we're being safe and we're training dogs in a way that's effective. So anybody can really take a shingle, put it up, and say, I'm a dog trainer. And so I just am wanting to talk to you a little bit about what does make a good dog trainer. So there are some dog trainers out there that are still in the process of learning. They're in the process of becoming certified. They're in the process of finding a good school to go to. And those trainers can be very, very, very good. And what you need to do is talk with them and ask them what their philosophies are. Do they use science-based force-free techniques and methodologies? How long have they been training? How many seminars do they go to? What books have they been reading? What information have they been assimilating? Talk to their clients, talk to their colleagues. So those people have a lot of really good information to share. When you're looking at certifications, there are schools such as the Academy of Dog Trainers, Karen Pryor. I graduated from Catch Canine Trainers Academy. I took a 2-year program. So there's a lot of schools out there too that certify dog trainers, and that's just not a 2-hour program or a week-long program. We're talking hours, months, sometimes a couple of years, like it took me, to assimilate all of the information. It means being paired with experienced mentors that are like-minded, that use force-free, science-based techniques. And it's a lot of testing, it's a lot of observation, it's a lot of hours. So all of this is what makes a good certified dog trainer. Because we spend all this time learning and networking and studying and reading, paying for tuitions, paying for seminars, we can be a little bit more expensive too. And as you learn more and you become a behaviorist and you become highly experienced, that means that there's even more learning that needs to be done. We have to carry insurance. We have to usually hire people to help us with our businesses in the business sense. We do a lot of travel. We have to pay for rent and have our businesses and stuff. So we have a tendency to be a little bit more expensive too. Interestingly enough, though, we're not as expensive as some. There are some businesses out there that have special equipment that can cause harm to a dog, that can cause pain, and they can be very, very expensive. But when you see that, if anybody is offering training using equipment that is going to cause dogs to be in pain or to be startled or to be intimidated in any way, buyer beware and do your research. Learn about them. Ask their clients, ask other people, ask veterinarians, ask other training professionals what their opinions are. Same thing goes for board and trains. There are some quality board and trains out there, and if that's the direction you're going, be sure that you're doing your research, because you are leaving your beloved pet again with this person, and you want to make sure that they're being very well taken care of. So force-free training, which is what the type of method I use, is basically we set up the environment for the dog so that we set them up for success. So the things that behaviors we want to change in them are less likely to happen. Well, we're teaching the behaviors that we want them to learn. And then we bring them back into the environments where they've already learned a different way to do things. So force-free training works very much in a dog-centric way, helping the dog understand what their environment is all about, how they work within it, how we fit into it, and how they can get the resources that they desire. Because in reality, that is what a dog wants. The dog wants to know where the food is coming from, where their bed is, how to stay safe, how to stay warm. So we help them understand their environment and in ways that they can understand. Force-free trainers don't use intimidation. We don't use any type of methods that are going to cause a dog to be fearful, cause a dog to startle, because those stop the learning right there. And we want to make sure that when we are working with you, that you understand your dog and your dog understands you. So that's just a little blurb about what force-free training is versus some other methods that are out there. And why we're a little bit more expensive. Also, the other side of that coin is if your dog has some behaviors that, say, somebody like myself can't help you with, we're going to refer you up. We know the next quality level you can go to. And that person may even send you up further. We may call in veterinary behaviorists that are veterinarians who have had actually more training, more years of training, learning about working with behavior as well. And that costs money too. So making sure that you have a well-balanced dog and a well-trained dog can cost some money, but over the long run, not having that can cost a lot more too. So we want to make sure that you choose good quality training for your dog and for you, because in reality, we're training you. We get to play with your dog. So find find a trainer that checks all the boxes for you, and ask questions. Ask lots of questions. Do your research. Talk to their clients. Like I said, just really get out there and really dig deep before you allow somebody to work with you and your dog, because it's that important. So in doing my research to put all this together, I found an article in 2015. It was a 2015 article by the AKC. And in this article, it states that over an average dog's lifetime, you can plan on spending around $24,000. And that doesn't count specialized training, that doesn't count the boarding, grooming, all of the other little extras that go along with it. So there's a lot to think about when it comes to, the money, and do we have enough? And the reason why we want to look at it is we want to make sure, if nothing else, we have a plan. Because when you have a plan, then you're going to be set, and your dog's going to be set. So if you have any questions about anything we've talked about, want any more information, feel free to reach out. This is a little short and sweet one today. So thank you very much for stopping in, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I will see you here next week. Thanks for stopping in. Bye.